What's up, guys? Welcome back to another HERR Lounge podcast. Hope everyone's having a great week so far. Just a friendly reminder, you can go on HERR Apparel right now and get you a lot of stuff that's on sale. So we're still trying to make room for our spring inventory. So there's a lot of stuff that's been put on sale. So jump on it. I had someone DM me, Rob, and say, I'm obsessed with your mystery boxes.
Okay.
She's like, I love everything that's in them. She's like, this is my fourth one. She goes, can I send you a picture? She goes, and none of them have been the same. I was like, she's been lucky, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, and she's like, can I send you a picture? And would you be able to if I ordered another one? She's like, would you be able to like make sure none of these items are in there? So she had to make me a list of things that have been in her mystery boxes so that the next mystery box she got didn't have any of the same items. And I said, because they're put together at random, just by size. It's not like, okay, all of this one shirt here, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like pick, and then we put them in there, you know? So that was kind of cool that she's liked them all, you know? So anyway, random story, I know, but
shout out to them.
So exactly.
Four of them?
Four is, well, she just ordered her fourth
One.
This is
all different. One. Awesome. Yeah. That's like the best thing when you order stuff like that.
She's gotten lucky though. Really, I told her, I said, I don't really know how you haven't gotten one of the same box yet.
Remember being a kid buying a mystery toy and you're like, I have this one already.
Yeah. Or like, I'm obsessed with getting Penny those LOL dolls.
Yeah, Brooklyn likes those too.
So I'm always like, oh my God, I wonder which one she's gonna get. So I feel her with the mystery boxes. So
does she like Hatchimals?
I don't know that she knows what the.
I think she'd really like them. Like you rub the eggs with your thumbs, and then it starts to break the egg, and you get a like surprise pet.
Oh, I bet she'd like that for sure. No, she doesn't know about that. So, and then shout out to our herpreneur sponsors of this month. We have Twin Candle, y'all. The scent that's going in the herpreneur box this month. What'd you pick? Fire. I actually picked the Plumeria.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going with the mango.
Nope, the Plumeria just. Man, I was telling Dawn, I was like, I was cleaning my room. I even texted her at like 11 o'clock at night, like this past weekend. I said, bro, the Plumeria, of all the scents you've ever given me, I was like, the fall pumpkin smell one, coffee pumpkin is my favorite. And this is by far my new favorite. And she's like, really? I was like, totally my favorite. I love the Plumeria smell though. So
I had never smelled anything Plumeria, I don't think, until we made that. And I was like, wow, that smells, the whole house smelled like it.
Exactly. That's why I love it. So my room all the way to the hallway, because even Mickey was like, what did you put in my restroom? And I was like, it's not your restroom. It's coming from my room, you know?
Oh, it's not in the back anymore?
There's another one in the back. Okay. Yeah. But the one in the back has another scent going. Okay. But in my room, I have the Plumeria. So she was like, what did you put in my restroom? I was like, no, it's actually coming from my room. She's like, well, I want one of those in my room. I was like, all right. But I don't know if it's just because we keep the door closed, it stays, but I mean, I leave the door open for most of the day. And I'm telling you, it's going even to the hallway where it's, so I love it. So Twin Candle, get your stuff so before it runs out. Yeah, just restocked too.
We did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
and we have starter packs now too, so you can have one scent of all of our scents and a melter included in the box.
There you go. So go there, and if you are part of the Herpreneur subscription, then you know what promo code to use, so that you can get your scent that you prefer. And then shout out to Cactus Kush for being also part of our Herpreneur box. And also we are having BCN supplements again this month. I know they're back with a new flavor.
Starburst.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to get that new flavor of pre-workout, which I'm excited about because I can't wait to try it. So, that'll be in there. So you'll get that. And, let's see, I can't think of who else. Cactus Kush, Twin Candle, BCN. And there's going to be a Lash Girl, but I'm waiting for her to kind of let me know what the deal is going to be with her. So, yeah, so that's going out of this box. So I'm excited about that.
You guys will enjoy it. Pink Starburst, by the way, which is the best one.
It is?
Oh, yeah. Like, did you ever eat Starburst?
Yeah, I love Starburst.
Yeah. Which one? Like red and pink usually, right?
Red, yeah.
Yeah.
So which color is this one?
Pink.
Oh, yeah. It's fire then. Mm-hmm. Okay. I can't wait to try it. She brought it to me yesterday.
Nice.
Well, when we were recording this, it's actually this weekend.
Right.
So it was which brought it. So anyway, so before we kick that off, you guys know I like to start with a little positive quote of the day. And what we're going to talk about today is I'm going to go ahead and get into the Kim Kardashian thing that everyone's talking about and so mad about. Because I really didn't take offense to it. Like I didn't find nothing offensive, but
Whoa. Those
Sorry.
lactation cookies are coming back to attack.
So here's the quote of the day. So, proud to be me. Today I decided to be authentically myself. No more trying to please other people and no more trying to be someone I am not. I am one of a kind and I will walk with my head held high. I am proud to be me. So
I feel like when you hear that song, I am woman.
Right. Well, just because I feel that, when I honestly didn't even see it, right? I hadn't seen the whole, I guess, interview thing with it. And so the only part that I saw that was going viral was the part that it was like, and it's because I follow that funny guy and he made a whole reel about it, right? He was like, ándale a trabajar, ya dijo Kimberly. La buchona 4x4. Bro, I was laughing. I was like, what is this from? Why is she saying that?
I hadn't seen it either. I saw it literally yesterday, like last night.
Same.
Chico brought it up to me before I even saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I saw it last night, or I kept seeing it. So Mickey and I were talking about it. And so it's funny to me. The comments in the YouTube video were insane. They were like, people were making, I mean, there's people that have made reels about it that have said like, okay,
Dude, there's some good ones.
Let me call my 5 nannies, my 6, all the listing of it. And I get where you're coming from, right? Like, I get it. But okay, step back just a little bit.
Okay, paint the picture for everybody the way you saw it.
The way I saw it was, she said entrepreneur women, just like if you're an entrepreneur, what advice could you give entrepreneur women? It's like, get off your ass and work, right? It's what her comment was. I didn't take it. I get where she's coming from. It's just like, if you really want it, then go for it. Like, work for it, whatever it is that you have to do. I mean, in her case, I get it. People are like, she's got it made. Okay. She's born into a family with money. Okay. So one, we can't be mad at her parents or her dad in this case, because I don't know that her mom had anything going on even before, right? But in this case, her dad worked his little tail off so that he could provide a great life for his children, right? So that he could pass on generational wealth. Right? So that's not her fault that her dad did that for her. We should all applaud her father
for sure
for thinking about making sure that his kids did that. Well, that's not fair because there's a lot of dads out there that work really hard. I know everybody's work is different, right? And while her rich is material items, your dad may be rich in other ways, meaning your dad may have the, time to spend with you. If you're a lawyer, you're pretty much gone a lot of the time, I would feel. No, like you're always busy, you're having to work all these hours. I've always said this, and I've told you this before. I feel like moms that get to stay home with their kids are rich to me. They're rich to me because although it's the hardest job for you to do, and you probably need a break about 99% of the time because you're with these little humans all day, it's really cool that you're the person being their number one influence.
Right, for sure.
No one else. No one else is getting a hold of your kids. No one else is, saying that your kids, heard this from this little kid or, no adult influence. It's pretty fucking badass, if you ask me. So for me, stay-at-home moms are pretty high up there for me.
Yeah. Would you say that she maybe did this and said it in that way to just get more attention? Because I'm not saying she's falling out of the spotlight, but if it wasn't for this Pete Davidson and Kanye drama, like, and the show's not really popping like it was, like, what is she really doing to stay in the limelight? People immediately are going to go back to the tape because those were the funniest comments. Like, this is coming from somebody who put no effort into her tape. This is coming from somebody who was very lackluster and put no hard work into that tape, blah, blah, blah. Those were very funny comments.
And she worked little rinky-dink jobs before making her sex tape.
Wasn't she just known for being Paris Hilton's best friend?
She was actually her organizer. She used to be an organizer for like celebrities.
Mm-hmm. Like,
but Paris Hilton was her bestie, right? and it was her sidekick. Like, they're really good friends. But this is the type of kids she grew up with because she went to the private schools where these rich celebrity kids went to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I really can't. I'm not offended at all by
I'm not
what
either.
her,
It's I think it's funny.
But I get where some of the women felt like attacked, where they felt like, what, bitch? Like, we don't all have it like you. And I get it. I totally get it. But listen, it costs money to have that many people on staff. Overhead is insane. So in addition to her running her business, she's also got to make sure, which she's got a shitload of money now. She probably doesn't worry. I mean, she's probably got a nanny 24/7, I'm sure. Yeah. So I know in her case, it's not just, but listen, we can't be mad at her for she turned a tragedy into.
I mean, straight up success. Just fucking. I mean,
you can't. Oh shit! My cookie just came out. Sorry.
Whoa. Hey, Kim K Jr., relax.
You can't be mad at her for that. She was smart. She said, fuck it. Whether it was her or her mom, because they say it was the mom, right? That was the one that said, like, you need to make some money up, figure out how we're going to make money off of this, right? Or how you're going to. I really don't know what the true story behind that is, but supposedly that's the rumor. Rumors got it.
Rumor has it.
I know, but it's got it.
You're right. I didn't watch the whole thing because it was for a variety, right? It was like a variety interview that her and her sisters were doing.
I don't know if there's a longer version.
Yeah, I don't know
watch
either.
a 6-minute version of it.
Oh, I watched like the 6-second version.
Okay, so basically what they're asking him is just like what this new season is going to be about, right? Because my sister was telling me about a part that they asked. I'm sorry, no, I was listening to the Breakfast Club. And they asked Chloe, like, is your situation with your baby daddy going to be on these episodes? And they said, yes. She said, yes. And she's like, as much as I didn't want to discuss my personal business, it's something that happens. And we've always been pretty open with you guys about our life and what's going on and so forth. Now, I think it seems like the reason why Courtney, who is the one that likes to have more boundaries, where she wanted to be out. I was surprised that she was on the show because she was the main one that was like, I don't want to do this anymore. They pretty much kind of cut the Keeping Up with the Kardashians on E because she didn't want to film anymore.
Right.
They had a whole episode where they went off on her. Like, well, fuck you. You're lazy. You're not into your shit. Whatever. You're not a businesswoman. And she's like, why is there anything wrong with me wanting to spend time with my kids? Like, I don't want to consume my life with, basically like filming, I don't want to consume my life with just working. I want to spend time. And I think that's great. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure she's got help too, but I'm just saying, like, the fact that she wants to be a part of that is amazing. Right. Also, if I'm not mistaken, based on this interview, I guess, at the very beginning, which I remember watching, I've always watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians, but I don't remember the beginning episodes, if that makes sense, because it's so long ago. Yeah, that's how long they've been on
for a long time.
Yeah. But I guess at the very beginning, the reason why she was so liked was because she never cared to be famous, Courtney. And so she pretty much was herself. And so that's why she's never given a flying fuck's ass what she says or what she does. It's like, this is who I am. And she's usually always kind of dogging her family about how they're very like.
She's low-key kind of my favorite.
Yeah, she is. She's a little too much sometimes for me with her, like, doesn't eat certain things. It's like, oh my God, calm down. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're kids. Like when they wanted to have the birthday parties, she didn't want any sugar there, but it was a Candyland party. And Kim was like, how are we going to have a Candyland party with no candy? Like, that is it. Well, there's other kind of candies that don't have the dye, and was like going off. But she's like, I'm not doing that. She's like, then we have separate birthdays for our kids. Cause I think they have like literally like one a day after each other or something like that. So anyway, if y'all are listening to this and you're like, I'm turning this off because no one cares about the Kardashian. This is going to be your, I need to find what should this segment be called for pop culture?
Puro gossip.
I need to figure that name out.
We should figured out the
politics Discord. If you are listening, what should my gossip segment be called? Because then when I find a sponsor, they can know that segment will be sponsored by
fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank. So if you're a small business and you want to sponsor our podcast, hit us up, guys, because we're looking for sponsors right now. Anyway, my point to that was the reason why I wanted to talk about it today is because I think there's so many women now that are entrepreneurs, right? And we're all trying to figure it out, which is the reason why, like, I really wanted to do the Herpreneur box, right? Because there are women out there really trying their best. And I've always felt like if I have, even though my platform is nowhere near someone else's larger platform, right? The little interaction that I do have with my small following, I want them to know about other women who are doing amazing, right? And so it's like, it's really one of those things where it's like, I didn't take no offense to it because I try my best to work hard, right? But everybody's hard, I feel, is different. Her hard work is totally different because she's able to work any time of the day that she wants because she's got the money from her reality show, from her sex tape, from Skims. I mean, from however she got it though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She saw a business opportunity. She jumped on it. We can't be mad. I'm not mad at her for that at all. I'm not mad at anybody who jumps on the opportunity to make some money off some fucked up shit they did. I mean, damn, you already put your embarrassing self out there. You might as well, right?
You put it all out there and you didn't even look as good as you look now. So fuck it.
I mean, I've never even seen the tape, but everyone says she didn't even know what she's like. I guess she was giving him head or something.
It wasn't a good tape.
That's
No,
what everyone
this
says. It's
wasn't
not
a
even good tape. Yeah.
No.
Which Kanye said that he went and took the tape from, what's his name? Ray J.
Ray J.
And literally delivered it to Kim's hand and was like, here you go. You don't have to worry about it anymore. No one else has this tape. That's what Kanye said. I don't know.
Kanye's that's a whole nother segment in its own.
You know what? Everybody's putting him out to be crazy, right? And here's the thing. You know what? I don't think he's crazy is because he was in a part of that family. So I feel he knows how this little family works. And it's like, you're not fucking with me. Like, I'm not the one to fuck with. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to do me. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all have done all the other men who have been in y'all's little life. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one to fuck with. You know, he feels a certain kind of way about his children, the way they're trying to raise them. And it was one particular TikTok that I saw where it was like, I guess that it was like, I'm an emo song. It's like Rage Against the Machine, I think it's called.
Okay.
The song, is it an emo? It's called I'm an emo.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that one.
Anyway, so there's a whole thing on there.
I'm barely starting to really catch up with like the whole Kim K and Kanye beef about the kids and not seeing them and the TikTok and all that stuff.
They're sharing a TikTok. So I guess the TikTok is ran by Kim. So she's able
Kim and
to,
the daughter?
Yeah. So she's able to monitor things that she's doing. I don't know how old the little girl is. I think she's 8.
Yeah, I think she's 8.
This is my personal opinion. I think she's too little.
Yeah.
Right. But then let's go on the contrary here. What about kids who are YouTubers? And they're pretty young. Like Penny. I started a YouTube channel for her. I suck at keeping up with making YouTube videos for her. So there's only one right now.
Mommy's got shit to do.
So she's probably never going to be a YouTuber, even though that's the job she wants to have. She tells everybody that. That's going to be her job.
I'm going to ask her later when we go inside.
Yeah,
like,
ask
hey, Penny,
her.
what do you want to do when you grow up?
Yeah, she's going to tell you.
YouTube?
Yeah, she says she wants to be like Ryan. So what does that mean?
Yeah.
A YouTuber. So, you know, man, we didn't grow up with this technology, so it's totally different. I think I was having a conversation with someone that said, I think we're the last generation to experience what playing outside was like because we had nothing to play with.
Your generation.
My generation, yeah.
Which you're an elder millennial, I think.
I am considered a millennial.
Yeah, you're an elder. Yeah, I think it's literally the term is elder millennial.
Oh my gosh, that's awful. I think I'm I'm the cutoff, or I began. It's 1981 or I ended. I think it's from something to 1981 or something like that, where you're still a millennial.
Okay.
So 1981, I think it's the starting age, and then it ends at a certain age or whatever, or year. I'm sorry. And I was talking to Israel today.
Do you have kids?
He does not have kids, but we were talking, and he said something. We were talking about taking road trips, right? And I said, oh man, I remember being ungrateful, right? Because we would drive to Florida and I used to hate it. And I used to be like, because my mom only drove sports cars. So we were in a Firebird cramped up in the back, right? Going to Florida. So it was not fun. And you're so ungrateful as a child because every year when we do a summer vacation, mom would be like, all right, we're going to Florida. I'd be like, oh, again? We're going to go to Disney World? Why can't we ever go to somewhere new? It wasn't until I got a little bit older that I realized when a lot of people would say, I've never been to Disney World. And I was like, you've never been to Disney World? Why haven't you been to Disney World? Like it didn't like in my head, it was like something that I did every summer. But we didn't do it because, oh, that was the luxury. It was because we had an aunt that lived in Florida. So that's how we saved money, right? By staying with my aunt. And then all you were paying was obviously food and entry to Disney World. So I didn't get that was the reason why we went there, right? It was like, this is somewhere where y'all could have fun, but at the same time, we are also not spending a whole lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so grateful for what my parents did. I had no idea how lucky I was until later. And that's kind of what happens when you're in the middle of, your parents able to do certain things for you. I was not rich at all, but my parents did their best. Always, like always. That's 100%. I give them props for that. If there was any money problems in my house, I didn't know about it. And I appreciate them not telling us about it because I would hate to have that, stress on myself.
Yeah,
you know what
right.
I'm saying? But, so I didn't know about it. So, you know what I'm saying? So as parents, I think we do our best, right? To provide for our kids, which in this case, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's what I hate when people say, well, yeah, they're privileged because they have money. Okay, well, that's not fair because they didn't choose the family they were born into, right?
Right.
So how can you say they have privilege? So who's ever grandfather, dad, however, mom, whose ever family comes from money, their family thought about how we're going to continue this wealth down the line so that it doesn't end. So none of us can be mad about that. All we can do is take our 24 hours in a day and do the best that we can so that if you have kids, you're able to leave them with, you know what I'm saying, something behind. And if you don't have kids, you can make the most amazing life that you can. I did that myself, like when I had no kids and I was on my own. Like I literally lived my best life. I was having a conversation with Kim from Jackson Brew yesterday because she was kind of feeling a certain kind of way that her son was turning 30 and she was feeling old. And I was like, what? It's like, you're 47, bro. I was like, when my child is 30, do you know how old I'll be? 67, bitch. I'm like, that's old. Okay. You need to
damn, you're gonna be 70 fuck.
Pete will be 70 and I will be 67 when they're only 30. Old as fuck, bro. Yeah. That's old. Okay. If I calculated it correctly, I think so, right?
I mean, basically 30 years from now.
Yeah. So, hello. So I was like, that's not old, right? So it's funny because I was like,
what a reality check for Kim, though.
No, I told Kim, I said, okay, because she was like, oh my God, my son's going to be 30. And she's like, I feel so old. And I was like, aren't you like in your 40s? And she's like, yeah, 47. I'm like, bitch, I will be 67 when my child is 30. I pray to God that he lets me live to see my child
Kim,
make
you're
it
probably
to 30.
Right now. Shut your
Yeah, I was like,
young
Kim, you are
ass
hella
up.
young. I was like, you are super young. Like, and it's funny because growing up, in my high school, the kids in my high school were like the way my kids are going to be, where their parents were older, right? Their parents had their kids older. My mom was one of the youngest. I was 16. My mom was 36 when I was in high school. So when someone would say their parents were like 50 or like already like late 40s, I'd be like, God, their parents are so old. But they didn't have their kids as young as my mom did, right? They also didn't probably marry at 15 like my mom did. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, little things like that. But what I'm saying is, it's like we all do our best. and we all have the same 24 hours. So just fucking kill. Échale ganas, like my shirt says
There you
today.
go.
I wore this for a reason today because I knew we were going to talk about this, about the whole Kim thing, because I
Yeah.
just kind of felt like échale ganas. Like that's all you can do. Every day you wake up, le tienes que echar ganas, because otherwise you are going to be, you know, the bitter person watching someone else make it, you know what I'm saying, and be like, well, and that's why there's haters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's why there's
they
haters.
live for that.
Because they're so miserable in their little world, and as they're watching other people be successful, that, you know, they just kind of feel like, fuck them, you know what I'm saying? Oh, lucky asses, you know, it's because their parents had money. Well, that's not fair to say, because they didn't get asked to be born to those parents. You know what I'm saying? Those parents brought them in, and they just happened to bring in the money. That's how I see it. And this is my opinion. And I just was not offended.
Yeah, no, I don't like appeasing people's, you know, I'm all for everybody try to like, and we were just talking about this before we started recording, right? Looking out for others' feelings, look out for others, the way that they, you know, judge what's going on and feel comfortable in a situation and make sure everybody's cool, blah, blah, blah. But also you got to make a stand for certain things. And this is one of those things where you just can't be a sensitive pansy that everything is like, well, they this, and make excuses for that and blah, blah, blah. I don't.
I try really hard to, I mean, you know that. I can't stand complainers.
Yeah.
It's my biggest pet peeve. It's like we make what we want out of a situation. So you're either going to fix it or you're just going to sit there and complain about it and just fucking be bitter again. You know what I'm saying? It's really how you look at things in any situation, right? A breakup. You can choose to be sad and depressed and make you go down this like tunnel of every guy's the same, and you know they're all assholes, and you know they're cheaters, right? Because that's kind of what happens when you get out of a bad relationship, right? You'll start to just assume the next guy's going to be the same way. Well, maybe not think that way and think like, well, fuck it, the next guy I date, I already know what some of these signs are, right, of an asshole or someone who's not good to me. So the minute I see that that's it, it's like, peace out, bitch, because this is my life and I'm not going to let you ruin it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go into another relationship again, you know, like to where I'm in this situation. A job, when you're in a shitty ass job, it's like some of us have to, some people just have to keep their mouth closed because they have to pay bills, right? But if you are talented and you know what I'm saying, you can do some shit, like start looking for another job. Yeah. And find the one that's going to pay you for your talent. You know what I'm saying? So that you can come in and be like, listen, y'all were real good to me, but I'm about to chunk the deuce because I found somebody who is going to appreciate me and who is going to pay me what I'm asking for. Like, we should never be afraid to voice like what you want. Like, don't be afraid of it. Like my mom has always said, and I'm saying in Spanish because it sounds better, solamente dos cosas te pueden decir, sí o no. Right?
Oh, yeah.
And so, y si te dicen que no, you move on to the next person, right? Que te va a decir that is going to give you the answer and what you're looking for, which is funny because my mom obviously doesn't know about the Kardashians, but one of the things that they were saying on there that the mom taught them was never take no for an answer. You're asking the wrong person. You need to find the one that's going to give you the yes. Funny thing is, my mom has always said that. She says but her thing was solamente dos cosas pueden decir, sí o no. Y cuando te digan no, vas con el siguiente until you get the yes, right? So my mom was always really big on that, you know, like, and I admire my mom like a lot in the sense that, bro, my mom cleaned houses when she got here. Wait, rewind. Her and my grandmother would walk around parking lots first selling donuts, but I make the best donuts because I would watch them make them. So let's start there. I do make the most fucking killer donuts.
What caffeine are you on this morning? I'm
on that one coffee that sent it to us, but their highest one with the highest caffeine.
One from Texas, from the Valley?
Yes.
I haven't tried it.
Yes.
Is it just black coffee?
I put a little bit of the protein, Farm Life protein, just a little bit, like literally a splash, because you know how I don't like. So yeah, it's pretty black. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's black coffee. And yeah, I'm talking 100 miles an hour because I'm on
like
this insane coffee, y'all, that it's so good, and I just needed it to hit my veins, and it did.
You're talking like Ben Shapiro right now.
When I first heard him, I really thought I had to.
You thought it was sped up?
Yes, I had to look at the thing, and I was like, "Well, damn, why is he talking like this?" I'm like, and then it was like, "Bruh, bruh," when it was like slow, because I was like, okay, so he's not. And I told Peter, I was like, "Is this really the way he talks?" Like, yep. I was like, "Yo, he's a live human, like real person that talks on speed 1.5 all the time. Freaky, right?
100%.
It's freaky."
Thank you for tuning in to today's Daily Wire.
Yeah.
Check out Sherry's Berries, for today's sponsor. 50% off. Use code DailyWire.
It's like, how did you do that in one breath? But yeah, I feel myself doing that right now. But yeah, so my mom, she'd walk around with my grandmother selling donuts, from donuts to clean houses, from clean houses. She went to school and, became a hairdresser. And from there, she owned her own hair salon. She's had it for the past 30 years,
Yeah, speaking of, did she get those shots you were talking about?
She gets them on the 16th.
Oh, okay.
Which is
I don't know why
tomorrow.
I thought it was last week when we recorded.
It's tomorrow. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? So when, your parents have shown you that, it's really up to you what path you take from coming here, walking around selling donuts, or my dad, in his case, you know what I'm saying? Coming in using a random, like a made up social security number. Do you know that my dad's social security number, Rob, is a made up number?
I remember you recently told me that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that was real.
He made it up when he applied for a job when he came here, and he used it. And when he became a citizen, they just let him keep that social security number. And it's a made up number that he made. So he just kind of looked at someone else's, kind of wrote it, and they gave it to him. I have no idea how he managed to get it, but I guess in the 80s or late 70s, early 80s, things work different. I don't know.
Wow.
So, when you have, I guess, that type of influence where you see your parents do, work with what little they had to make, the most of it, it's like, I just feel like there's no excuse. Like you're in your situation because you kind of want to be in that situation, Yeah,
that is a lot of it. And I know a lot of people might think that that's callous. This might be on YouTube a year from now, 10 months from now, 2 years from now. People be like, oh, how can you say that? They're in that because they want to be in that. Sometimes it's just the case. It really is. You got to be honest with yourself. Other times you catch a bad break. You're in a bad side of town, whatever. In the Discord last night, somebody sent a video from yesterday afternoon in San Antonio. There was like a shooting, a cop shot a gentleman who had warrants out for his arrest. He was running from the cops. Allegedly, this was last night, so I haven't followed up on it, but the captain at the time, before seeing the body cam footage, said that the assailant had pulled out a gun from his waistband, and that's when officers opened fire on him. The neighborhood had about 20 people on the streets, up in arms about what was going on. I was on the west side of San Antonio. I don't know what that area is. They just said west side in the caption. And then you had like 40 or 50 cops just like blocking off this entire area of San Antonio. And you could just see the type of people, and this is what we're talking about, like the people that have caught a bad break. Maybe they're in a bad situation. Maybe they're choosing to stay in this lifestyle. But it's the kind of people who are going to perpetually continue that with their kids if they have kids. And it's just like, what a sad turn of events.
And then it's like, and then again, then we go back to a lot of the stuff, right? It's like, well, I saw it's almost like, what is it? An abuser sometimes will just kind of
move on to another abuser.
Right. Yeah. And so it's kind of like, I get it. That's what I'm saying. It's like, this is my personal opinion. That's why it's like, well, you're wrong. And everybody's situation is different. I get it. And you're trying but that's what I mean. You're trying your best. Like I used to always say this. I didn't care if my husband worked at Walmart, Walgreens, right? And I'm saying these names not because they're bad names, but right. But this is what people think is a blue collar job? Not even, right? It's like, they don't even consider those blue collar. What do they consider Walmart and?
Oh, would it be? Yeah, because it's not a white collar job.
No, I don't know. I know they've got another little name for it, and I just learned that. Oh. But anyway, so like, but if your husband is working like those 2 jobs, and they're like, fuck yeah, look at him, like, hard worker. That means he ain't never gonna let shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, should something hit the fan, he knows he's gonna have to probably get a third job. We're gonna all have to figure it out. Like, that's a hard worker to me, and that's to me, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to figure it out. You got to figure out how the fuck you're gonna make things happen if you really want them. If you don't want to be in the situation anymore, you're gonna have to figure it out. You have to put your head like really put your thinking cap on and be like, how am I going to get out of this mess? I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want this. I don't want to pass this on to my kids. And if you don't have kids, it's like, I don't want to be here anymore for my own sake. Should the day that I have kids, right? I don't want them to be in this. Or should the day that I finally get married and don't have kids, right? But you should at least want to like be better. You should always want to keep improving little by little about wherever you were before. That's like for me, right? Mm-hmm. You've got to find like something that works for you. Like, I don't have it in here.
What is it?
But it's my other notebook. And in the in the front of my other spiral that I have, it says on here, I will have the best female podcast. So that every time that I open it up, as I'm making notes for my podcast, it's a friendly reminder to myself of what I want, right? So that I remember, hey, your podcast ain't banging because you're not working hard enough. You're not doing enough to get your podcast. What can you be doing? So those are where I put my ideas of like, who can I collab with so that my podcast can be heard elsewhere? You know what I'm saying? I want for my podcast to expand, right? I want to have sponsors on my podcast. Who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to reach out to? Who's relatable to you? Who's the same as you? You know what I'm saying? So where it would be a good fit for your podcast, right? Because those are other things you have to think about, right? And those are things that like, I guess it's like you have to decide that for yourself, right? Like for me, podcasting before was just fun, right?
Yeah.
But I would love it now if it were my job.
Of course.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So that's where I'm at with it. Because last year I didn't have a journal that said I will have the best podcast ever, because I just saw it as this is what I do just to add extra content to my life.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But right now it's like, I would love it if I did this all the time to where, you know, I could podcast all week. And this is like my fun job that I do because it's fun to be on here and doing the podcast, you know? So like if I could do this and just handle my apparel, that'd be great. You know, making content is not as easy as everyone thinks. Everybody thinks you're just sitting at home twiddling your thumbs and be like, I'm gonna put makeup on today and I'm just gonna make a video. Y'all, if only y'all really knew. I really wish,
especially your content.
It's like, I wish that y'all would really y'all really don't know like at all, like what all it takes and what all it involves. And, you know, it's costly. It's not cheap either. You know, if you want it shot correctly, cause you know, you can tell which ones of my reels are done by someone else who edited it for me. And then which are the ones that I did, which are right now, mostly mine, except for I'm starting with Ilse, and Ilse and I are going to start making reels together so that they look more put together. Okay. So I told her, I was like, I need my reels to look more put together. I was like, not like I literally, like the lighting is just like dark. And
you know, by contrast too, like podcasting in itself, it might be, if you just took the amount of effort that it goes to produce something like that, once this is put together in a way that you want it, you leave it alone for a while and it looks good, it sounds good, all the visuals are there. It's the easier of all the content you can make, because reels and videos and vlogs and all this produced kind of video stuff is a lot harder to do, requires more hands on deck.
Well, I wouldn't know how hard it is because I don't do that stuff, Rob. You do that. So shout out to you for doing it, because you're the one that keeps my podcast page alive, because it was dead before.
Yeah.
It was dead. I mean, I had 200 followers. Rob got it up to 1,000. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm not taking any credit for it whatsoever. It was like, hey, so do you want me to start making videos? If you want, Rob, if you want to add that work to yourself, go ahead.
It is that part is actually more work than actually doing the podcast, because once the audience is there, it's built in and you're part of their weekly regimen or daily. If a show ever gets to the daily, like there's a couple of shows that are almost, Rogan's damn near daily, but they're each 3 hours long. It's such a commitment. It's almost like, let me put it like this. You got that novella you used to watch?
I don't remember. Yeah, but you know, when I was younger,
Yeah, or your mom, I guess.
My grandmother.
Grandmother. And they would never miss a novella.
Yeah, never.
9 o'clock, you know, whatever
my grandma,
it was.
From the minute she woke up to she was making dinner all day long. They were watching some. Some were not even that good.
Really?
But she was watching
all day.
She was also cleaning though.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it was always, maybe it was more so noise, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
But then in the afternoons, like sometimes you had the dads or the Theos that would get home and also watch a novella with our moms or grandmas, aunts or whatever. And it was like a ritual. You don't miss those shows, right? From like 7 to 9 before the news, you had a couple of novellas you didn't miss. the podcast like that is for a lot of people too. And once you get into that routine, it becomes an easier piece of content to create because the clips and the reels and stuff or to generate, new eyes. But when you have that dedicated fan base, then you sit here for an hour, 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever it is, crank out podcasts, bring in guests. And it's like so fun and easy and it flows so much easier than who's dressed for this, props for that, where are we at, on location, indoor, outdoor, whatever, shoot lights, this, that, and the other. That content is hard to make. And ironically, you might get like a day or two where it like pops unless it really goes viral. And then it's like, that was 7 seconds. It took me all day to make. And then it's gone.
Do you know that? So part of my package with Ilsa includes 3 reels that she'll shoot and edit, right? She said we'll need probably about anywhere between 2 hours to do that. And I was like, to shoot 3 reels? And I like mentally had to prepare myself because my reels are recorded at home with my phone. And granted, they are going to be phone recorded, but she knows all the tricks and, all the edits to make it look great, So they're just going to look, and it's because I want to have more live, active looking content for my apparel. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that it's not just always pictures, right? And one of the things that she tells me that I lack, and I think I've talked about this before, is I don't get on the camera of the stories and kind of talk to them and kind of be like, hey, what's up, blah, 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 blah. And it's because 99% of the time, I probably don't have makeup on. I have this bun. If I don't have my extensions in, my extensions are not in because I need to go get my roots done. And that takes 2 separate appointments, one with my mom and then one with my cousin who puts in my extensions, right? So
got the plug for everything.
Yeah, right. So then that's kind of like a whole, all right, it's going to be all day here and then half a day over there. So how am I going to split this up? Because I still have shit to do and I can't spend my entire day just being beautiful. You know what I'm saying? As much as I would love to do that. My eyelash girl's leaving.
She hadn't left yet?
She officially I got the last appointment coins. And you know what? I was going to cancel it because I really had way too much shit to do that day. And it was in the middle of the day. I don't really know what I was thinking. It was at noon. And that day I was really going to cancel it. I was like, you know what? My eyeballs are pretty bald already. Like all the lashes are dropping because I waited longer than usual. But I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to have to cancel it. Anyway, I was like, already thinking like, well, anyway, the new person that's going to participate is sending lashes. I'm probably needing to make a video of me like putting them on. So it probably would be a good idea. I'm all like thinking of the reasons why it doesn't matter that I'm not going to go get it. Right. Exactly. Even though in the back of my mind, it's like, girl, you better go get them lashes done. Gladly I did because literally 2 days later, she announces like, oh, if you have any more appointments here, if you have an appointment with me, they've all been canceled moving. As of now, I'm leaving already to Hawaii. I was like, what just happened? I'm literally just missed it by a hair.
Wow.
So I'm kind of glad I got it in. And this is so dumb. And I don't really know where this podcast is going today because it's about.
It's life.
It's like anything and
this
everything.
Is life in a nutshell.
But anyway, so it was crazy because I got them done. And then I was just like, okay, so I spent my whole day there and I didn't get nothing done that day.
Right.
And I was just like, what? And it's because my next thing that I wanted to do, just because remember I said, when I stop breastfeeding, I would like to do the Botox on my forehead, right? I think it's Botox, what I'm trying to, not fillers. So Botox. And I was like, I really want to do it. Right. And then all of a sudden I was thinking about it. I was like, oh my God. So that would be another thing that I will have to make an appointment for. And I don't know that I started really thinking about it. And people was almost like smiling, like, yes, I'm glad she's not gonna, no more spending on, on having to get beauty stuff done because it's expensive, right? Like all that. My point to that is all those things have to be done before I take pictures once a month. So it's like, I told Peter, I was like, I don't want to take pictures this month. I think I'm going to tell Ilse I'm just going to do my reels and that's it. He's like, really? I'm like, I just don't. I was like, then you got to find a restroom wherever you are. Sometimes they don't have a restroom. So you're in the back of your car trying to get dressed in this little bitty space, right?
Right.
And I'm just sitting there trying to cover up, making sure no one's walking by while I'm
getting a
changing
free show.
bras, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my thong, you know, trying to put on my pants. And it's just like, oh my, it's a lot of work and no one really understands it. If you want to grow your brand, and I've said this 100 times, you can go back to whatever episode. I talk about this all the time. It's about investing. Rob will tell you, and I'm real particular, if something is off brand, and he decided that it would probably look cool to do something, which is he's probably thinking in, this is how people could subscribe to your channel. There's a reason why Rob does it. It's not because he just felt like it, but I'll look at it and it'll be like, well, this is not, could you change the color of what you put on there so that it's on brand? And that's because that's what I spend my time on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I spend my time on making sure everything is on brand, because it's like, it's important.
Yeah, for whether you love or hate Nike or Adidas or whatever, a lot of the times people at this point, they've been around so long and they're such a staple in whatever, fashion, athletics, whatever. You buy the product because you align yourself with that brand for whatever reason. Like you see the Just Do It, or you see the icon itself, you see Jordan or something, you're like, man, I resonate. For whatever reason, I resonate with that branding, however they did. But you're talking about, 50, 40, however old it is, years worth of being ingrained in our heads. And then when people see the HERR name and the font and the style and the color and whatever, it will eventually be synonymous with you and what you do.
And Kim was at the grocery store the other day, and she said that she saw someone with the HERR. She's like, I just saw the H, because the H is so big on the HERR. And she was like, I know that font from somewhere. She goes, I had to go up to her and be like, oh my God, I have the same bag. And I was like, y'all did that? I was like,
that's so
cute.
cute.
Oh my God. I was like, I got a knot. I said, I got a little knot in my throat right now. And she started laughing. She goes, you're a mess. I'm like, I did. I said, that's a really cool feeling from someone who's like, I'm gonna post this reel, guys. And it's basically talking about if you've ever supported, like when you support a small business, you guys have got to feel that way. When you like put out a scent,
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and it sells out, you're like, fuck yeah, it sold out, guys. Like, it's a really good feeling, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it is for me when I put something up, because there's a lot of thought that goes into it, right? There's a lot of like back end, right? Like going back and forth with who's going to design it, and you know what I'm saying, and so forth. And there's so much work. So when someone says, oh, I love her brand, I have her brand, it is like, I really don't understand. Like there's the thing that says it's like a small business owner is doing a happy dance. That's exactly what I'm doing. But I will say this, check this out. So I've been really, I was like, I know everyone thinks like I don't have any fears, but I don't like failure, right? But I don't think anyone does, right? So I really analyze something before I do it, because I want to make sure that when I do it, it doesn't fail, right?
Okay.
So for the longest time, we've had Dulce on here before when I did the Women in Business series, right? Mm-hmm. So she has a pop-up store, right, in the Rice Village area. It's called the Hive Pop-Up. And it's a bunch of different vendors and different women who have their stuff and their whatever it is that they sell. And it's like you have your little thing. And every time I would go in to go shop, because I love her little store, right? And really, I buy a lot of her stuff. And I've collabed with her a lot of times. And what I mean by collab is she's made a lot of my stuff. Like my Chingona cups were made by her, right? Like, so she's handmade. Handmade by her. So I've collabed with her in that sense, and where she's made these things for me. And she does excellent work. If you've ever purchased a pair of sunglasses, the pouches, she's made those pouches for me to be branded. So anyway, I finally told Pete, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to branch out. He's like, I said, I love doing the pop-ups because you get to meet people there, right? But they're super duper time consuming, and they're usually on the weekends. And I've already said to you guys how I feel about my weekends, because I work so much during the week. The weekends are like really the only time that I feel I can give my children undivided attention, right? Mm-hmm. And that's usually when pop-ups are, which that's when pop-ups are. So I told him, I said, I think I want to go reach out to Dulce to see if they've got a spot available, and I'd love to go like talk to her. The only thing is that they require 4 anybody who's got their stuff there to work 7 hours a week. Just nothing. So you can do 2 hours here, 2 hours there. But it's another thing that I would have to fit in my schedule, which is the scary part for me, right? So I'm ready to dive and put my stuff in the store, and I will let you guys know when it'll be there and when I do it. I'm having a meeting with her this week just to kind of go check out. So I'm going for it, guys. And this is the biggest fear for me, because I know my customer, and I don't know that they're my customer. Does that make sense?
Sure.
But I need for my brand to be known not just on social media, meaning like there's only so much reach on social media when you pay for an ad.
Yeah.
Right? Even if you put $500 behind an ad, you only reach still a couple of thousand people, right? It's not always, they don't always cater to making sure that your market is reached. It's like, okay, bitch, well, you paid the 500, so we're going to do our best to let people see it, right?
Yeah.
So
there's a lot, we finished with your thought? Mm-hmm. So there's a lot behind like getting somebody to actually make a purchase, right? Mm-hmm. We know this as consumers. There's like the whole process of before you even make it to the place where you're going to buy the thing, you're thinking about it, you're analyzing, you're comparing and contrasting like this versus that product, clothing or computers or anything. It's no different. And then in order for an advertisement to get you to the checkout, screen, it costs dollars. Like costs dollars to get you to the site, to put it in your save, to put it in your wish list, to put it in your cart itself. And then I'm going to come back later. Now it's got to put you in the redemption emails to like get you back there because you were there and then you left and now you're coming back. So all that takes money. So it's like, actually, I was pulling this up while you were talking, like the $1 million a year thing is always the thing that people always think about. So if you reverse engineer that, it's $83,000 a month, $19,000 a week, or $2,700 a day. So depending on what your product or service is, it's like, just take half of that. Take $500,000. Like, how do you reverse engineer enough to where you can sell that amount of products at a profit margin that makes sense for you to make that $500,000, 200,000, million, or whatever it is, and then finding out how you can scale. And that's really hard. That's really, really hard. Me and my business partners managed to do that with a service-based business where it's really hard because you got to get people in the door and conduct a service for them. You can only do so many people in a day, and that's where you're limited. And then, how many people can you get to walk through the day is also very limited. Products I like a lot more because if you make a good product and you get people to your website, your Instagram, whatever, there's more avenues in order to capitalize on the dollar. And the scaling process is, okay, you got brand influencers, you got other businesses you partner with, you got advertisements, you got, conventional and digital. There's a lot of different ways to go about it. It's just really tough. So if you took just those 5 things and you try to work on 2 or 3 of those, to research it, to implement it, to get a team behind those 3. All right, we're going to do digital, we're going to do conventional, and we're going to do email. Those 3 alone. All right, let's go. Okay, but I got kids and a wife and this and that and the other. Okay, well, how long is it going to take to get there? Do we have a quarter? Can we do it on the second quarter of the year? Okay, we're going to focus on it in the second quarter. And then you get through the second quarter and you're like, all right, we made a couple grand, we made some money, but in order to get to the $500,000 million, you really got to crank it up. And you're like, but there's no more hours in the day. The kids need shit, camp, summer, vacation, this, that, and the other. My husband's touring. It's like, all right, well, we got to, again, reverse it. How much shit do I need to take off my plate in order to make this grow? It is hard.
It is hard to the point where.
Moral of the story, listen to Kim K. Work hard. Moral of the story, listen to Kim K.
Bethany Frankel, who's also
love Bethany Frankel.
Okay, so Bethany Frankel, I guess, has a podcast, and they made a clip because I'm telling you, this whole thing has been going viral everywhere.
I think she's so attractive for some reason.
In an interesting way.
Yeah,
she's also like very blunt. And
yeah, she's like old dirty money.
Yeah.
That's what she looks like.
She worked her little ass off.
Oh,
though.
Yeah.
Again, she took advantage of being a housewife of New York, and that's what I'm saying.
That's why I like her.
If you have an opportunity and you sleep on it, it's your own fault.
She looks like old gritty money, and I like it.
And she made a podcast, and on her clip, it was like saying like during the pandemic, these women that you're basically talking about that aren't working harder, I guess. She didn't necessarily like that directly say it, but basically it's just like, those were the people buying your Skims. Those were the people buying your makeup, your products. You know what I'm saying? Because they're the stay-at-home mom who had nothing to do. Right. And you know what I'm saying? They're stuck. So a lot of people, she was talking about how a lot of people became rich who had online services during this time because why? People were at home, nothing to do. You pretty much went shopping online. which, want to know what? During the pandemic was when I decided to focus on my brand again.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing else to focus on. So I had the time to redo everything. Like, what am I going to bring out again? What new things am I going to drop for my brand? And I was able to push it out more to where if you go way down the HERR Apparel, you'll see a lot of like the beginning stuff where it would be like a whole month before I'd post again there because I wasn't bringing out product often enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Right now is the longest I've gone since the 2 years since this has been going on that I haven't dropped anything new. And it hasn't been that long, to be honest with you, because I dropped this one, the Echale Ganas with the pants, the Tough & Co. with the matching pants, the motherhood hoodies. Like I've been dropping, but as far as the spring stuff is concerned, I'm barely getting it made. Part of that has to do with production, right? Because some of the colors haven't been found, like inks is concerned.
That in itself has been harder to do.
Yes, and he's been delaying.
Text message alert.
Yeah, I know. And so, anyway, so she was basically like, my point was, she was basically saying that she felt like you shouldn't say those things because a lot of these women who you're claiming are not working hard enough, right, are the people who purchase from you. So, watch what you say. Like, and I totally get her point of view too, because you are right. And it's like you say, in order for you to buy something, you have to feel a connection with them, right? Mm-hmm. Don't you feel that? Like when you buy something from, Jocko, for example, right? When people buy stuff from him, it's because they connect with him. They want to they feel like I aspire to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I believe in his brand. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why when it sounds the corniest when I tell someone like, thank you so much, or, you know what I'm saying, for supporting, for listening to the podcast. When I say how I love how the Discord, you know what I'm saying, is hype. Everybody talks to each other. Bro, I have been off of that thing this whole week because, we've been trying to get ready to Pete left out of town. But I hadn't been on, and it'd be like, there's like so many messages. I'm like having to scroll up to
150 messages.
Yeah, to see like where people are talking and what the last conversation was about. And when I tell you, it is the coolest thing ever to see a bunch of women who don't know each other. Y'all don't know each other. Talk and give each other tips of what you're doing, how you should do it, even about my brand. Like, there's a girl on there, she's also part of y'all's.
Jess,
yes.
Tier.
Yes,
dude,
Tier.
she's on it in the RPT rooms.
She's also like, she's really, about her business and like an entrepreneur wise, like,
remind me what business it is. Do you know?
I know she's got some properties.
Okay.
But she's looked into other things
Mm-hmm.
because she was the one that told me, she's like, hey, I know you've wanted to do the vending machine thing. Here's some info on it. When we had our challenge and we did the live Zoom, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we all chit chatted, I am currently in the middle of, and I'm like, haven't replied to the emails because I wanted to create a journal like
Mm-hmm.
this. And this is really where I got the idea from. I'd been wanting to do a journal. It's funny because Dulce is who I would reach out to. Like, Dulce, do you know anybody? Because she works with so many women.
Yeah.
You know anybody who makes journals, right? I've been wanting a journal. And I've been wanting it to be brand, like my journal that I make, right? And so I don't know if you saw, I didn't know this, but I thought that was very humble of her. But when Julia Renee was on, she's got a whole, almost like the one that you guys gifted me for Christmas.
Yeah.
She made one.
I put it in the, you said it to me. I put it in the show notes.
But I had no idea.
Yeah.
She didn't mention it. She didn't say anything. I was like, why didn't you say anything? She's like, I don't know. I just didn't know how it would be. I'm like, hello? Like, yes, girl, I'm all about like supporting. And she was like, wow, thank you so much for reposting it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yes, that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
We're supposed to encourage each other. You know what I'm saying? When you see something, you should, if you're intimidated by someone else who does the same thing as you, then you're not doing a good enough job because you see that other person who's got the same business as you doing. They're getting it.
Yep.
And that's where your problem is. That's why you start to hate. For me, when I, and it's Khloe Kardashian said this on that same interview. She says, I don't want to be the smartest person in that room.
Yeah.
When you're having a meeting, because then what do you have those other people for, right? You're hiring people because they should know more than you. They should be better at whatever it is that you're doing, so that you're supposed to be working at improving. If you're the person in there that knows the fuck you need them for, you know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. Like, I don't need you then, you know what I'm saying? Let me move on. I need to find someone who's doing it better, who's making me feel like I need to challenge myself. That's how you should see anything, you know, and that's how I am. So, if I see someone doing an amazing job, I'm like, fuck, they're doing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I pay attention. I'm like, man, how much time are they investing in this? My God, you know what I'm saying? And just like, some women can make it look so easy. Like, it's not but I know how much work it takes, right? But the way it's looked on their Instagram, it just looks like there's no, you know what I'm saying? Nothing to it. But anyway, Jess was like, and so I said, I'm working with someone who's a third party, right, to make this damn journal, right? And we've been going back and forth. And then she's like, hey, so you can make it on Amazon. And she just gave me all the links. I was like, bro, hello. So I haven't emailed this person back. And they're like, bitch, what's up? We are halfway between this thing. I'm like, no. She just gave me the ends. And that's the route I'm going to go.
That's cool.
So that's what I'm saying, though. It's a really cool thing when someone supports your brand, right? And you're all together, but you're also working together, and you're all like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're helping each other. If you see something that you don't know something about, someone will tell you about it. And that's the amazing community that you should kind of like, I don't know, like probably find a group of women.
You should aspire to that for sure. And
like
that's why the podcast is so damn good, because it creates that, right? And then things like the Discord and the newsletter and your community text list, if you have one of those, all those things bring those people together. I was just thinking about this as we were talking, and I feel like unless you have to pee, we're just going to keep this rolling.
Okay, no.
And then if we keep talking about business, the Patreon episode will be all about business. Maybe we can call Marissa or somebody to call into the podcast. But